Hi guys, it's Adriana here from EduLab, and today we're going to talk a little bit about how ranking works with Google. And this applies to all other search engines, but we're just going to specifically talk about Google because Google is the most used software application out there. So let's get a little bit into how ranking works, and I'm going to go in depth here, so definitely stick along for the ride if you want to find out how Google ranks your website. So basically, Google wants to find out who on the internet, which websites have the highest quality content. And that's a big task, right? Because there are millions and millions of websites out there. So basically, not all websites are created equal, and that's where ranking comes in. Basically, Google gives a sort of letter grade, so to speak, to a website. So is it an A+ website, is it a C website, or is it an F website, basically, right? So maybe you have an online store with Shopify and you're wondering, how does Google rank my website? Because when you type your company name into Google search bar and maybe you don't see yourself on the first page of results, or maybe you do, you're wondering, why is this, Why am I the third result? Or why am I on the third page? So this is definitely a very good question, and we're going to answer it right now. So basically, Google wants to know which websites have the highest quality content. And they do this in a couple different ways, and these are called ranking factors. So Google has over 200 ranking factors, and this is all combined into an algorithm. So an algorithm is just a very complicated piece of code that Google uses to determine where your website falls on this ranking system. So basically, it's a hierarchy system in which there are websites that rank on top and websites that rank lower below that website. The main question that Google wants to answer is, can people find the information they're looking for on your website? Are they going to find what they're looking for on your website, basically, right? So if someone is searching for a product or a service or even just information to their question, if they go to your website, are they going to be satisfied with being on your website? Are you going to give them the information that they want? Are you going to provide the products that they're looking for? That's basically what Google wants to know. So Google wants to know how people interact with your website. They want to see how you perform, and that way they can kind of rank your website. So the way that they do this, since they're not a person, is they actually use robots and bots to crawl your website and index your website to see what your website is about. But then they also document how people use your website. So they kind of see the behavior that people engage in when they go to your website. So one thing that is a ranking factor is called long click versus short click. So basically, if someone clicks on your website, if you show up in search results, they go to your website, and how long do they stay on your website? This kind of tells Google if they stay a long time that they found what they're looking for, and if they stayed a very short time, they're clicking back, that's a short click, then they didn't find what they're looking for, right? Because they're going back to the search results to see if maybe another search result will give them what they're looking for. So the point here is that user content is king, and when someone goes to your website, you need to understand that their experience of seeing your homepage is definitely going to be a very impactful experience. So what do they see when they go to your website? What is the first thing that is on your homepage? And what kind of information are you giving them about your products, your services? Can people easily understand what you're selling in just 7 seconds? Because that's the average attention span of an online shopper. So is your message clear? That is definitely something you'll want to consider. Another ranking factor is that you should have awesome content. So I know this seems like a no-brainer because everyone should have awesome content, but this is something that people don't usually think about. They're so worried about listing products on their online store that they forget that they need to create engaging content. So it's great that you have a product for, say, let's talk about temporary tattoos. You're listing all these temporary tattoos that you've created, but where's the engaging content? Because if people go to your website and they see a one-sentence product description that doesn't really tell them what it's about, then they're probably gonna leave and abandon your website. But if they go to your website and they see this amazing tattoo, this temporary tattoo, and they see a really large product description that tells them all about it and why they should buy it and how they can't live without it. And there's also blog articles which show people wearing the temporary tattoos and gives them ideas of how they can incorporate it into their lifestyle. This is all engaging content, and it's gonna make the person want to buy your product. So it's gonna increase sales. So having engaging content will keep people sticking around, and it's great because it helps with the ranking factor. People are gonna stay longer on your website, which shows Google that people are engaged, which is a very good thing to have. Another ranking factor is external links. So this is also known as backlinks. And what a backlink is, or an external link, it's the same thing, is basically a link from one website to another. So one website to your website, that's an external link. So this means that people are talking about you. This can be press, this can be interviews, this can be guest blog articles, but basically there's a link of your website on someone else's website. Now, not all external links are created equal. Again, there are some factors to consider here. You'll want high quality backlinks. So you don't want to have a link going to a spammy website that will actually look bad on you. So definitely don't do that. You also don't want to buy links. Google says this is against their guidelines. Also, don't do that. They'll ding you for it. But you want links that go to high quality websites. This can be websites such as Huffington Post or the New York Times, but of course we understand that maybe you can't get those types of press right now because you're just a small online shop. So definitely start with some small trade publications or blogs that are in your niche and reach out to them and see if maybe you can get some press or blog articles that way. Just start creating some backlinks though, because this definitely helps with your authority and ranking on Google, and this is one of the highest ranking factors that you can get. Also, another thing that can help you improve your SEO, which can help you rank higher, is by getting structured data for your website. So we actually have an app called Get Clicked SEO, which can create structured data for your entire store. And what the structured data does, it's the back-end code of your website. So when Google's looking at your website, they're not just looking at the front of your website, what people can read, but they're looking at the back-end code as well. So this structured data gives Google lots of information about your products and services and about your company, and they can use this information to understand more about your website. And the more that Google understands about your website, the higher the likelihood is that they can suggest you in search results. Secondly, having structured data can help Google create something called rich snippets for your website. And rich snippets are just enhanced search results. And these are amazing because they can help with click-through rate and help you appear more larger and more vibrant on search results with colorful star ratings and more information about your product and services. So this is really a good thing. So definitely check it out if you don't already know about structured data. Another ranking factor is page speed. Now this doesn't hold a lot of weight, but it does hold some weight, so it's something that you should look into. Basically, how long does it take for your website to load? Now the average load speed for a website varies from website to website, but you'll want to make sure that your website loads in under 1 second. So definitely check out a page load speed tool on Google. You can also access this through our Get Clicked app. Another ranking factor are keywords, and a keyword is 2 to 3 words that describe your product or service or niche. So basically at ADRIANA, our keyword would be Shopify apps, right? Because that's what we create. We create Shopify apps, and so that would be the keyword that we would use on our website. Now Google wants to know which keywords does your website rank for, and they pay close attention to this, so you should too. Basically, they want to know what terms and phrases do you have on your website that people might be searching for. One thing to consider is what are your customers typing into that Google search bar? And you'll want to think about the types of products that they're searching for and how they type this into Google, and then you can use those keywords in your website. And you'll want to do some research because, like everything, not all keywords are created equal. Some have a lot of competition, so it's harder to rank for them. And then there's other keywords that are out there and people are looking for them, but there's not a lot of content fulfilling that need. All right, so another thing to note is that Google did this experiment back in, I think, 2011 called the PANDA experiment, where they wanted to figure out which websites were gaming the system. So they wanted to perfect their algorithm and figure out which websites are crummy and which websites are actually really good. So the PANDA experiment, here's what happened. They had real people go to websites and say, this website's good, this website's bad. They look at another website. This website's good, this website's bad. And they kind of documented why that person said this website is bad. You know, what reasons did they give to think that the website looked spammy or illegitimate? Then they did machine learning, so they basically created a new algorithm that incorporated machine learning to understand the behavior of what constitutes a bad or crummy website, and they've integrated it into their new algorithm. So now the PANDA experiment is very notable because people can no longer game the system through content farms, and everything that they do for their algorithm is going to benefit legitimate websites that are just trying to improve their SEO. So the PANDA experiment will definitely not hinder you if you're actually running a legitimate website. It's just to eliminate all the irrelevant search results that were kind of polluting the system. So that's definitely something to keep in mind, and it's definitely had a great impact on how Google search engine works and how they're able to deliver such relevant and great information in less than a second. All right, so I hope that these ranking factors kind of give you a better idea of how Google ranks your website. There are over 200 ranking factors and they're constantly changing, but there are a good number of them that are staying put, and they've been like that for years. So definitely take a look at our article that we wrote on ADRIANA. There's one on the Shopify SEO guide that we created that goes in great detail about all the ranking factors that Google takes into consideration when ranking your website, and it'll give you a better understanding of how ranking on Google works. Also, if you don't know already, we created a Shopify SEO app, and it's called Get Clicked SEO. It's one of the top rated SEO apps on Shopify, and of course it's built specifically for Shopify online store owners. So if you'd like to improve your SEO, definitely install that app because it can help you on your SEO journey. All right guys, thanks so much for watching, and we'll have more videos like this one in the future. Definitely like and subscribe. Bye guys, take care.